Hello and welcome to Vancouver Carpenter. Today we are mud framing. Let's take a look at what we're talking about. So first off, we've got this joint here, which was a corner bead. So corner beads flare out, and now we've got, like a 1/2 inch down here. So we're not going to float it a 1/2 inch thick all the way down, but it'll probably be something like this to make this imperceptible, and this will flare up here. Similar here, we've got a good 1/4 inch to almost 3/8 of fill that needs to happen there, so that'll help with that. But we've got another thing here too. When I line my eye up down this way, this thing has a huge curve to it. So that means what I need to do is my corner bead needs to be about a 1/4 inch lifted up here, a 1/4 inch lifted down here to get a straight bead, because take a look at that. That's how much camber this thing has in it. And it's mostly in the center. So how do we fix that kind of stuff? Well, mud framing. Okay, so I've got some confill mixed up, which is this stuff, concrete fill. It's used for skimming out concrete ceilings. It's similar to Structolite that you guys have down in the US, but I think the difference is this is an actual drywall compound, not a plastering compound. So I'm using this stuff, which has some aggregate. It's great for heavy builds. I've got it sort of medium loose, and I'm gonna actually install and coat my beads with this stuff all in one go. So let's get started. Now, if I take a look at putting this bead on, what you can see is that it'll pretty much follow this line. So I need to be careful when installing this because it's gonna bend. And then we're gonna see that crown in this when the time comes to actually painting it and all that stuff. So my length is right here, just a little bit longer than the drywall. And I'm actually even gonna make it a hair shorter. Pointy. Come back the other way. Okay, there's that one. And you can see, this is ugly, but I'm taping this with confill, so it's gonna be awesome. And I'm just making sure I cut just a little over 45 so they don't overlap. So I'm gonna load it real heavy at the top because I know how much buildup it needs. I'm gonna thin down a little bit as I don't step on the bead, dude.
I didn't, dude.
Good, man.
All right, brah.
It's bro now. The kids say bro. They don't say bra anymore, although that's what I always read in the comments. Okay, so giving it some extra mud down here at the bottom. And one extra splart up here at the top. Messy tapers, taping the place and making a mess before it looks pretty. This side does not need as much mud because it was only about a 1/4 inch build out. So yes, this isn't taping mud, but it sticks really well. And the other thing is, if you coat it right away too, it just really locks everything down super nicely. Where's my bench? All right. Proper drywall protocol is to just mash everything and then dance on your wobbly bench. You definitely don't clear the space you're working in because that takes too long. So I need lots of mud on here because I want to make this nice and full under the bead. And it does need to be built out a lot because of that huge line right there left from the old steel corner bead. This is why I mixed up a whole bucket. Because there you go, there he is again. Guy's everywhere. Okay, now there's enough mud on there. We can start putting these beads on. Okay. So, of course it wound up too long because I built it up so much right here. Let's let's see how it's looking. Yeah, it's getting straighter. It's not bad. But we actually need to make it shorter because of how it lifted it up and made that opening smaller. That's a good pair of snips if you can still cut. If you can still cut the wet paper. Okay, let's bring it out so that we can actually pull it up and get that fill. Make sure it's lining up down here. We're looking pretty good. Gonna lift it up. Pinching it like I'm just kind of lifting it up. Pushing it down here, pulling it up here. And these are those beads with the nice wide steel flange so they stay pretty straight. See how that looks. Okay, I can live with that. That's good. If anybody is walking down here like this every day, they're a jerk. I already know I need to cut almost a ½ inch off of this thing to make it work. And I could have guessed that, but you know what? You can always make them shorter. You can't make them longer. So this is where a skilled eyeball comes in handy. Because what you need to be able to do is look at this thing and be like, it looks flat. So I could take a level on here and fart around with it, but what you really need to do is be like, does it look flat? Yes, it looks flat. How about that? That looks good. Mash it down here. Good old mud framing. Done a lot of this in my day. And now we wipe the bead out like any other corner bead. I like to use a 4-inch knife because it makes wiping beads out easier, especially when you have to do something like this. And look at that right there. That is called mud framing. Okay, we're gonna do the verticals now. I'm gonna leave it just a little bit short, maybe 1/4 inch. And we're gonna do the same thing again. It looks like it doesn't need to be so close to 45, but out of habit, I'm just gonna do it. And all this confill is gonna fill in the gaps real nice. Okay, there is number 1. Number 2, again, we'll make it just a tiny bit short. That's a lot more than 45. Pointy, pointy. There we go, lining up all pretty. So, it's the same thing. Mud the crap out of it, float that bead onto there. And this mud is a quick set. It dries pretty nice and hard, but is actually still sandable. Drying out a little bit on me, but okay. This first one on. Jesus, what did you eat? So I'm not worried about these voids because it's going to be so full of this confill. More mud. Well, good thing we needed to coat the floor, right? Because I sure have. Oh, crumbs in your mud. Confill. It's okay. Line them up. Make sure there's fill. Tweak. Man, what is going on with this wall? That's okay, because we are using the right material to be able to solve this. So I'm actually almost forgetting this bead. We're gonna go just in between. Pointy, 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 pointy. Mash. Okay. Oh, wait a second. That doesn't look right. Somebody better fix that. Maybe I should have used one of those ones you've been stepping on. How's that looking? A little better? It is looking a little better. Okay. Just gonna leave that for now. At least it's got something in there. It's reinforcing it a little. Now, got my 14-inch trowel. Let's coat this up real quick. We'll fill the bead first because I want to get that on with the same mix. So that doesn't bode well. You can see my bead there. So we gotta squish it down a little more. And how is the bottom side? It's okay. The flange is floating now. So it doesn't always go smoothly, as long as it's smooth when you're done. Better. Okay, still going here. So I can make it look better later. Right now, I just want this mud on. Mud. So the whole time you got to be like looking at stuff. How does it look? Is it right? So this is a little bit off and I can live with that. But what I can do actually is pull this bead out a bit because I'm just looking at it and it's not square. So you got to be ready to adjust things whenever and wherever you need to. So this needed just a little 1/8 of a pull, because as I was looking at this, it wasn't square. So that's looking better. There we go. Stay. Now we got to kind of reattach this side a little. This is the side I was tweaking. Yeah, I know. I was tweaking. That's what you guys heard. Especially you Oregonians. More mud. Mud, 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 mud. Ah! Pigeon farming. Just cut that flange wasn't seated properly. There we go. Okay, just one more to flatten her down. Now we got up here again. Hate wires. They suck. So this is just your first coat. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just don't want it too high or built up anywhere. I'm just flattening out those big uneven spots. That's all good enough. Okay, we're gonna leave that. And we'll put a second coat of confill on everything in a little bit once it's set. Okay, a couple of quick things that I should note is, so I've got a joint right here that, you know, I kind of want to put a little reinforcement. So this mud also has fiberglass fibers in it that sort of help it bridge stuff, but basically I just want something there, you know, to help it not crack right here. And down here, this spot was also just a little bit suspect. So we'll throw something right there. Oh, this mud's sort of half set up right now. Oh yeah, that light was brutal. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. How's it?